Hi, welcome back to the second episode of this podcast, Who You Say I Am. The first episode went out last week on Friday, and we've just been going through a series of getting to know me. Today we'll embark on. By this time, I've already met my husband in campus, and today we're just gonna here, or rather, I'll share about dating in campus, planning our wedding, getting married, being newly married. So let's do this. So, so now we are dating hmm, in campus, and how our situation looks like right now is that he is a CU chairman. I serve on in a different in a subcommittee, and so we are both leaders in the Christian Union. And we started dating before he could be the CU chairman. So the CU chairmanship came after we started dating. Not that that's a problem, but I know it could be for some where there's this view and notion of you're a leader in the CU, how are you relating? I think there are people out there who feel as if they cannot strike a balance between the two. Keep a relationship and serve in the CU, especially in such a high position. But I think for us, it wasn't a problem, or rather, it wasn't like I can't be a CU chairman because I just started dating. I mean, all those things. No, that wasn't the case. Actually, for us, in hindsight, looking back, we think it really helped his leadership because he was, I don't say a public figure, I don't know the right word to use, but yeah, he was known in the CU and he's relating. So let's just say that he had some standards to keep. And with relationships and dating, there are usually quite a number of challenges that come with all that, especially when it comes to the flesh. And so I think we were pretty careful, or rather, him being in leadership helped us to maintain, or rather, to work hard at um, being a good example. And so we didn't hide our relationship. It was out there in the open. Everybody knew we were dating, and that helped us because that cloud of witness and people around us just kept us accountable about that. Yeah, so being transparent about the relationship is very key, or rather was very key for us. Like we weren't ashamed about it. We weren't afraid of people knowing. It was a plus for us and probably for them because I think we really wanted to paint a picture, or rather, what's the word to use? Yeah, to just be a good example and set the pace, or rather tell people that it's possible to be godly and to relate in a godly way while you're serving the Lord, that those two can happen together. And so it wasn't hard dating in campus because when you're in campus, there are a lot of things that are on your plate. So it was very hard for us to just find idle time. So if we are not in the CU, if we are not in meeting, we are in class or doing assignments or group discussions, and then yeah, so it was really, I think the challenge was actually to find time for each other. Oh, because some of those meetings went very late during the day in class. In the evening, you're probably doing assignments. at night, maybe from around 6, you're having a meeting that probably ends at 10 p.m. And so we really had to try and carve out some time for each other. And I think for us, what worked well was either we take lunch together or dinner together. That really worked. Um, when we did that. And so it wasn't very difficult to navigate while in campus. I think it started getting hard when we graduated. And I think for us, just going back a bit, when we started relating and dating, we knew we had one goal in mind, or rather, we knew where the relationship was gonna end, and that was in we were planning to get married right after right after campus, and so the vision was 20 graduation. Like as soon as we graduate, we're getting married. For us, we did not want to wait, or rather, to date for a long time. Like we were sure, we were ready, it was just graduation that was standing in the way, and as soon as that happens, we're getting married. We were that serious. And so graduation comes, and my husband is taken up by Focus Kenya, the internship program, where he has to go to Eldoret, my university, as a STEM staff. That's what they're calling them, and I think I'm still calling them STEM staff. So it was a STEM staff in my university. My queue, I am still in Nairobi. For me, it was after graduation, looking for a job, and that's what I was doing. So we were, I had a roommate. So these are hacks. I don't know whether to share them here or not. But after campus, I come from Mombasa, and I think I mentioned that in the previous video. I really didn't want to go back to Mombasa. So I wanted to stay in Nairobi because I felt as if that's where more opportunities were. So instead of renting a house by myself, I I got a friend of mine. So we just rented a one bedroom and cost shared the rent. At least the expenses weren't as much in that situation. So I was back in Nairobi, he was in Eldoret. And so that was the beginning of our long distance relationship, because when you're in campus, you're in campus together. When you're on long holiday, you're on long holiday together. And so we first experienced long distance during that period around 2016. I remember, I think, if I remember well, I only made two visits to Eldoret from Nairobi, and two or one. I think I made one. I traveled to Eldoret only one time, but for him, because there were a couple of trainings at the HQ, Focus Kenya in Nairobi, I think for him, he traveled a lot more than I did from Eldoret to Nairobi. But for me, I think I just visited once during Moi University, I think worship night or something. So I took that opportunity to just go visit him. But the rest of the time, it was him coming to Nairobi. After Eldoret, because so you remember Vision 20 graduation, getting married, we had to put that on hold because of the internship program that took, let's say, a year, because it started in September, ended in July the next year. So um, August to September 2015, ended in 2016 July. So all that time, our plans have paused, and then after Moi University, the internship program, he was considered for an exchange program to go to Norway. And I was thinking, guys, like really, like you really had to add 2 more years to our waiting. So yeah, and of course he consulted with me whether he can take up that exchange program, and for me at that time it was super open because I knew where his passions lie. He was very passionate about ministry. I really didn't want to get in the way of that. It was a good opportunity also for him for some sort of exposure. So I allowed him, like it was, yeah, we will do this, we will hack it. And so far we had actually hacked it for the long distance while he was in Eldoret. So this was another long distance, but much further away. I can't just wake up, buy a ticket, and say I'm going to Norway to visit, or he can't just decide to come to Kenya. So this was I think by the time I feel like it was an easy decision to allow him to go because I knew he loves ministry, but I knew it would also be a challenge in terms of staying connected. But I think we were also confident in how like the foundations we had set. Like we knew we are very good communicators in terms of nimeamka or I'm going, there's a pattern or a routine we had already established, and we knew it would come in handy during this period where he's in Norway. So yeah, he went to Norway. Remember, we were to get married in 2016. Now we're in 2016 August, and he is going to Norway for another, I think, about 10 months. So 2017. So up until so we graduated in 2015, but now these two programs pushed that wedding date to 2017 because I mean we can't get married while he is far away. So yeah, he proceeded to Norway. I think for me, during this season, I had gotten a freelance job. Whew, that's what getting a job is tough. At least it was for me because it was just tough. I don't know. Okay, thinking about it right now, I keep asking myself, was it me who did not know how to package myself well? Was my CV? I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I wish I knew what recruiters usually look for uh, when they're choosing candidates. But anyway, so in my like during that whole season, I got no interview. The only gig I got was through a friend referring me for a freelance data entry job. So that gave me a bit of flexibility. So just working from home. So I mean, I had some income, and my husband would actually tell you this that I was earning more than he was during those 2 years, or rather maybe just yeah, during the 2 years. Like I was earning much more from the freelance job than he was. Anyways, so for me, it was just the freelance job that I got, and then at some point transitioned to do an accounts job at some place in Kahawa West. And so those are the only two jobs I got to do between 2016 and 2017. So this whole time, my husband is in Norway, doing his exchange program. I think he had a lot of fun. Like my husband is an extrovert, so he really thrives in such situations where he's getting to meet new people, having fun, travel, and all that. So he really had a lot of fun, and he took me with him. Like I usually say that I didn't go to Norway, but I experienced Norway through him. Like it was amazing. Like he would take videos and photos. Like I think we have lots and lots of those photos in our gallery. I think that time we used to use Gmail. So he used to send me emails and attach all those photos and videos also as a way of offloading his phone. So would store them on Gmail. So I really knew when he woke up what he ate, how the culture there is. His friends. I knew almost everything. Like he took me through the. It's you see, like if he knew how to vlog that time, he would have really had good content because he used to take photos of almost everything, take videos. And for that time, it was because of me. So you remember when I told you that we had already set a very good foundation of communicating, and so we kept that on, and I believe that is what kept us still close. Because in my head, I always imagine if if he went to Norway and decided to keep quiet and not update me about his life or what's going on or share his fears, the challenges, the joys while he was there, I imagine we would have grown distant and apart because your life is going on somewhere, some other place, very far, and I don't know what's happening. And so I think it would have taken a lot of effort for him to catch me up when he came back from Norway. But that wasn't the case. He came back and we continued. Almost say that we picked it up from where we left it off, but no, nothing was dropped. He took me through that experience with him, and it really worked well for us. I think a part of me loves my husband for him having that personality and him just being intentional about it because I know that someone else would have just gone to Norway and gotten lost into the new environment, new country, new people. A part of me thinks that, yeah, he loved me that much. And I just remembered something because he went with Happy, how are you? He went with Happiness to Norway, and because even Happiness also was in a relationship before she went to Norway, and something they made clear when they landed and met people there was that we've left people at home. We can't wait to get back and get married. Like everyone, like I just love such transparency. Everyone in the institution they were in knew that they had people back at home. They can't wait to get back and get married. And I love that, that it was very clear that it wasn't, I'm going to hide here, see who else I meet. Like their intentions were pure. And it just goes to show you how much value and love my husband had for me, and I really appreciate that to this day, how we navigated that long distance. So he comes back in 2017, and I think while he was in Norway, because we knew that after Norway we would get married, like this one we knew like for sure, we're getting married after Norway. While he was there, we just started brainstorming about things like planning dates, uh, just the simple things. We started thinking about those. I forgot to mention before he went to Norway, we made sure that he met my mom. By this time, my dad has passed on. He passed on actually after graduation in 2016, early 2016. So my husband is going to Norway in August 2016. We made sure that he meets my mother before he left because like we really had the end in mind. Like we knew when you're coming back, we're getting married. And because we know that it might be short notice to let my mom know about your intentions when you get back, let's tell her before you go away. So we arranged for an informal visit before he left for Norway. So he came home, we cooked lunch. It was after a church service. We cooked lunch. He came with a friend. Um, he told, now officially told my mom that he loves me and that we're planning to get married, that he's going to Norway, and when he comes back, he's planning to get married to me. So at the back of my mind, my mom knew, like she actually appreciated, and gave him her blessings while he travels. So we did that before he traveled, so that we just made sure that there was kind of a couple of months for my mom to process, for my mom to probably ask all the questions she needed to ask me while he was gone. So now fast forward, my husband comes back in 2017, around April 2017, and then so the exchange program ended around April, and then he still had a couple of months to serve, but he served them in the HQ in Nairobi. So between April and July, because convocation is usually in July in Focus Kenya. So he was still working for Focus Kenya then, but now based in the HQ and not in Norway. So yeah, he comes back. We continue planning for the wedding, now farming up the dates and all that. So he met my mom, and then we had to plan another um, somewhat okay. Maybe this was more formal and not informal with my aunties. So his parents, now we're involving parents. So his parents, my mom, and because my mom can't meet his parents alone, we decided to bring in our aunties. So it's interesting, aunties from my mom's side because we were not very close with my dad's side. So our traditional process was quite unique because we didn't even do shags. Everything was in the cities. Because my mom is in Mombasa, his parents are in Mombasa. We just did that parents meet up in Mombasa. So we did that. Would I remember the month? I wouldn't remember the month, but it was. I am 100% sure it was July, before July or August. I'm not sure, but we did that in Mombasa. We just met at a hotel. Just having lunch because in my head, or rather, what I have seen for traditional um, processes is that the man comes with his family and relatives to the wife to be wife to be at home, and there's all this shamra shamra, and they cook and they eat and they go to a room. For us it was just in a restaurant, ordered lunch, spoke about our intentions. It was a meeting in a restaurant. Because our family dynamics are a bit complicated. I may not get into the details of that, but it was agreeable for both sides, for both his side of the family and my side of the family. So it worked well for both of us, and that's the route we decided to take. So we did that, and then so I think the other thing that is different in my case is that we started thinking and planning for the wedding before I got engaged. These things by faith, like how are you planning a wedding by faith? And he's not even formally and officially asked you to marry him. And I'm thinking, but we knew, like we're on the same page. Like these things, like don't complicate it. At least that's my view. Like we were in it 100%. Both him and I, we were in it 100%. There was no doubt. Um, in our minds that we were getting married. Like I knew indirectly, like even if he didn't ask, I knew that yeah, that's the direction we are taking. So we were working together in agreement. That notwithstanding, the proposal still came. Do not get me wrong. I still needed a ring. Only that it came. It came way after we started, planning for the wedding. So the engagement happened in again. Where am I? I can't remember. It was either June or July, guys. Somewhere around that. Those 2 months happened at a friend's place. Um, by the way, if someone knows how I can insert pictures on this video, please just reach out and tell me, yeah, do this and this and this and this, because I wish I can attach or rather just post a picture of our engagement somewhere. But if you don't see it, just know that I'm still learning how to do that. Anyway, so we get engaged, and then by this time we've already settled on a date. How we settled on the date of our wedding is interesting. Oh Jesus, thank you. So while he was in Norway, there was something funny that kept on happening. Every time we would look at our watches, and it wasn't just one sided, it was from both sides. Every time we'd look at the clock, it would be 11:11. And I think it started a while back, I think even before Norway. 11:11, 11:11, because at some point, I just decided to look at the calendar when 11:11 falls, and it happened to fall on a Saturday. And I thought, yep, that's the date we're getting married. So, yeah, like that's how we settled on our wedding date. November is a good month to get married, but also 11:11, a very nice magical number, fell on a Saturday. So it was easy for us. Like it wasn't like at the other thing about settling, should I say this here? The other thing about settling, should I say this here? Hmm, this is something very important for the woman to consider when you before you settle on the wedding date. But that's another story for another day. So we are here. We've already settled on the date, 11th of November, 2017. And by now, my husband, remember, did I mention that he's now in Kisumu? I am in Nairobi, and the wedding, we are planning to have it in Mombasa. And so that's also another period where we were long distance and we had to kind of figure things out. Um, the dowry payment was also a bit unconventional because we had it in Nairobi. We just um, allowed, or rather, we got our parents to travel to Nairobi. And I think the rationale behind having the dowry ceremony in Nairobi was because our wedding is in Mombasa. We really wanted to allow our friends to get involved in the whole process, and most of our friends are in Nairobi. So we wanted to give them that opportunity to get involved in the whole process, just in case they would not be able to travel to Mombasa for the wedding. So we got to hire. We had a dowry ceremony. I'm not sure whether we paid or not, but we had a dowry ceremony at Focus Kenya. Super simple. You understand? Like it was just, and the model we used. Shout out to Pastor Isaac from Fountain Gate Church. Is something he taught us something about the best model to use when you're doing dowry, and this it might be hard for other families to understand that, but because for us it was super simple, like we're not involving a whole village, it was easy for our parents to understand that model when we explained it to them, where we just get to appreciate the husband side, rather my husband gets to appreciate my mom with an envelope. If he decides to give her a gift, it's fine. But this idea of writing down lists, like getting a list from the wife's, from the bride side, and then the husband has to kind of come, deliver, and bring everything, and that's okay. Like that's okay, so long as it's not oppressive, it's not, demanding and looking as if you're buying off the lady. No. So for us, it was easy for us to just agree on a certain amount to put in a bahasha and give mom, and it was as simple as that in Nairobi. And so getting to plan the wedding, it was, I think, remember there's also premarital counseling. Oh my goodness. So like we had to work around that because my husband now is in Kisumu. He usually used to have Mondays off. So he would travel over the weekend. He would have a class on Monday. He would travel back at night to his working station, which is in Kisumu. So we really had to make a lot of sacrifices for a lot of these things to work. And planning the wedding, we had a planning committee in Nairobi. We had a planning committee in Mombasa, and like it was amazing just having that support system where our friends were all in, like they're so willing to help, they're going out of their way, they even contributed towards the wedding. Thank you so much, guys, for the amazing support. So it was challenging, but somehow we just managed, and we didn't do it alone. That's all I'm saying, we did not do it alone. And so I remember, so the wedding is on Saturday. I remember the first time we met the planning committee in Mombasa was on Thursday. The first time we were meeting, because most of the vendors were coming from Mombasa, the first time we were meeting them was on a Thursday as well. Like, okay, Thursday, Friday, whatever the case, it was just between those 2 days before the wedding. Um, I think generally my wedding turned out well. Like if I was to rank it, rate it out of 10, I would say a 7 out of 10, considering all this planning from a distance, from being far away and still planning a wedding. Like and we didn't have a wedding planner. Everything was between me and my husband. And my husband was so involved. Like I love how this guy has opinions and like his taste is good. That I always kind of go to him and ask for his opinion. So he was super involved with planning the wedding. It wasn't until now turn at me figure out who is who. Like he's the one actually who knows how to negotiate with people. If it was up to me, you quote, I pay full price. But like my husband knows how to kind of notice what can be left out, what can be included. Like he's super, like his brain is, yeah. So I loved that he got in, we were planning it together. So it wasn't like something that was weighing on one person. The weight wasn't on one person. We shared that burden. And I think it also made that whole process easy. So we get married and you remember I have a job in Nairobi, so the other discussion was to figure out, are we gonna do long distance? You keep your job in Nairobi. I got to Kisumu, figure out how that works after the wedding. But it was either that or now me resigning. Guess which option I went for? Your girl had already experienced long distance for 2 years. I was already dating. I had already dated this guy for 4 years. I was just looking forward to live together with him. Like I don't think I would have survived another long distance situation. So I had to resign from my job and move to Kisumu. Get all my belongings, not all my belongings, maybe just my clothes. I gave out a lot of the things that I used to have in my apartment. So it was mostly my clothes and the TV that was passed down to me from my dad. So it was the TV and my clothes. Um, when we tell this story, we usually say that we traveled from Mombasa to Kisumu after the wedding, and at the bus station, literally all our belongings fit in a tuk-tuk. Like it was just mostly our bag, actually mostly just our bags. Like we were going to move into a house empty, like with just our clothes. So I remember the first thing that we had to buy when we got to Kisumu is a mattress. Not even a bed, a mattress as we wait for some of the things from like wedding gifts and stuff to be shipped from Mombasa to Kisumu. So we really started small. Like I wish I can again insert a photo of our house, like the first few days. Like it was just empty room. It was a one bedroom, a mattress in the bedroom. We were still waiting for the cooker that was coming from Mombasa. So a few of those days, or rather most of those days, we used to eat out. We had a car joint where we were going to eat some fish and chapo madondo or something. Yeah, so until those things came, that was our life. Like literally humble beginnings, like nothing much. Like we didn't have much. And for me, I don't remember feeling anxious. I don't remember feeling out of place. I don't remember feeling what is this life. I was so content. I was so okay. Like, unajua those mushy mushy statements that I'm about to make right now, that like, so long as I had my husband, I was okay. Na very sivako. Like, I just felt so okay just being in his company at that time, doing ministry together, because with Focus Kenya, it's a lot of campus ministry with students, CU and stuff. So just waking up on a Sunday, going to preach, those leadership training, like it was just amazing for me at that time because I didn't have a job, just supporting him in ministry, like just doing all these things together, just the two of us. I'm just remembering a few times the current season I'm in. I'm a mother. I have two boys, super active boys. Like once in a while I sit next to my husband, you're craving that cuddle and it probably starts. But then you see your 1 year old almost touching a socket and you literally have to jump up and go get him. And I'm thinking, those times, like you literally miss those days where it just used to be the two of you in the house where you could just sit and, watch a show, get in the kitchen together and cook because my husband does cook like it's such a good thing. Yeah, gender roles are not necessary. Do not really apply in our home, of course. We, for balance sake, we have to kind of do the separation of duties, but it's not very rigid. The point I'm trying to make is that, yeah, a few times right now, I miss those moments where it used to just be the two of us. Like we can just wake up and decide, let's do this, and we are doing right now. You really have to consider the little munchkins. It's a blessing. I wish I had, enjoyed. Okay, maybe I think I enjoyed. I really enjoyed those times. Like there are no regrets. It's just that, yeah, once in a while you wish that you can just sit for more than a minute before you have to stand up. Anyway, yeah, so we really enjoyed our first year of marriage. I think that there are a few people who tell their story and say their first year of marriage was the hardest. For us, it was not. Like the man I saw while dating is the man I saw when we got married, at least for the first year, and it was amazing. Like it was amazing, and so yeah. So of course, you remember by this time I don't have a job. Did I mention I don't have a job? So a couple months down the line, I get a job, and I think that was the beginning of a lot of things shifting. I know, like there are a lot of people who are getting married out there who have jobs, and they're wondering, what do you mean your job changed the dynamic? Yeah, mine really did change the dynamic of my marriage. You would think when I get my firstborn, that's when dynamics change, but no, for me it was when I got my first job, and I think I will stop there for today, and then we'll pick up the story on the third episode. We'll pick it up from here on the third episode. So stay tuned. Today I just decided to go with the flow, do a lot of storytelling, and not necessarily overthink what I'm saying. And I hope you really enjoyed it. Whatever you picked or gleaned from my story, I hope it will benefit or encourage you. So see you on the next episode. Thank you for watching.